For decades, women were told to hide their gray, that it meant you were past your prime. I'm the Silver Baddie, and this is Slate Bay Chris. We're two hairstylists, two generations, breaking down what it takes to embrace your silver and still look fly doing it. So ladies, welcome to Go Gray, Not Old, the remix. What's up, girl?
I'm good. How are you? How's your day going? It's Friday.
Yes, it's Friday. Like they say, Friday.
Yes, Friday. Absolutely.
I'm amazing, and I'm so excited to do this this collab. You reached out to me a couple months ago. It seems like the time is just going by so fast. I think time goes by fast, period, right? In this day and age. But I'm Sharon, and I'm excited to do this because we get to share with people watching us the generations of women who are embracing their gray hair, and they're not waiting to 80 years old, right?
No.
Right. So I'm Sharon of Go Gray, Be Chic.
And I am Chris. I'm the founder of Slate Strands.
When Chris reached out to me, I think I was probably a little bit delayed getting back to her because I'm not on social media like that. YouTube is my platform. I'm still working on all the other platforms, trying to get all that together and posting on a regular basis. But I was so excited. We had a conversation, and I was just excited for this day to come so that we can finally get this message out. But I'm 56.
Yes, and I am 42. I am an early grayer, and I had embraced my gray about 3 years ago. So I was about 38 years old.
Wow. And so at 56, I embraced my gray when I first started my YouTube channel. So my first video, I was gray. I had a buzz cut, and I was 51. So it's been like almost 5 years ago.
And we also have to add that we're both hairstylists as well.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the most exciting, one of the most exciting things that I love, that when she reached out to me, I found out she was a hairstylist. I started the YouTube channel, but I really wasn't even talking about gray hair. I was talking to hairstylists about marketing and hair cutting and all the things business.
Yes.
And when the pandemic came, because I started in December of 2019, and then when the pandemic came, I was like, you know what? I need to hear more women's stories about how they embrace their gray hair. Even though my mom she's gray, but I needed to hear some women who look like me and just how they were inspired. And so I created that video, and then my channel took a shift. And then in June of 2021, that's when I started. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna not talk to hairstylists anymore per se. But I am a Generation X. And so bringing us two together,
absolutely,
Chris being a millennial, this is just gonna be an amazing conversation.
Yes, and I actually found your page from YouTube. So last year when I had launched my merch as an entryway into the retail space, I was just looking on YouTube because eventually I wanted to have a YouTube page. And I saw your page and I looked at your Instagram. I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be so great. So that's how I found you. Just an organic search, and I just loved, the fact that you was a hairstylist and you also had embraced your gray. And I just reached out on Instagram, introduced myself, and I told you, what I did and what I'm looking to do. And I was glad. I wasn't pressed. It was just like, okay, if she sees it, it's fine. But when you responded, I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. So I was really excited. So like you said, I am a older millennial. I had been coloring my hair for about 7 years, every 3 weeks. And I was colored it jet black, so my natural hair was black. And when I went gray, I just decided not to color my hair anymore in 2022. So it's been 3 years. And for me, it has changed the way that I see beauty, the way that I am now forced into a new purpose within the beauty industry. And I love it. I want to be here. And I think that it's really just taking all of the steps that I've done as a early grayer as well as a hairstylist, and kind of just bringing those two things together in this later, this will be my second go around in entrepreneurship, and I just love it so much.
Right. Here's what's wild, sis. Most women start seeing their first gray hair around 34. But the way we respond depends on when we were born. And I can honestly say I was an early grayer. But I didn't embrace it until I was 51, because I was like, how am I gonna look? You know, I think that's the first thing people think of. Like, I can't even imagine you with black hair.
I know, you know, so
it's your skin tone, and I'm
I
like,
know. So many people that remember me from before, it's like, Chris, I don't even remember you with black hair anymore. I'm like, what? It's weird. It's just
So I was forced to just like cut mine off, because it was already short. I wear my hair short already, but I had never worn it that short where it was just buzzed off.
Yes.
And so I just buzz it off.
What made you say, like, I ain't doing this no more?
Because I was coloring my hair like every 2 to 3 weeks. And most of the time, being that I cut it like once a month, I cut it down. So I'm trying to let it grow a little bit now, this in the front. But I cut it down to like 1 inch, like every month. And then you got to put color on the back, you know, on it all the time. And the thing about it is I was mixing several formulas, because this hair right here is really, really silver, but then the back still is a little darker. So I was putting a different color here and then and I'm like, you know what? And then the funny story is I wanted to go gray, right? Or platinum. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to bleach it. Platinum. And it did not do what I needed it to do, because of all the darker areas. And it was like a bright blonde. And it just was like, I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why don't you just cut this hair off? And that's exactly what I did.
So did you have any influence? Like,
I did. It's 3 women, and I'll show them on the screen.
Okay.
3 women that they were black women, and they were buzzed, and they were silver, and they had some funky glasses on. So I always kept them nearby. I'm like, yes, these were my inspirations. And I feel like we all need those type of inspirations when we go gray. You don't want to like look like the person, but they are there just to inspire you, to motivate you, and to encourage you that, yes, you can do this too.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I like to do. You know, as an early grayer, I kind of say that I am like the early grayer representation, because I feel like a lot of people have been going gray for a long time, but they just don't have the courage to do it. So for me, it's like a very good space, I feel like, as an early grayer, to show people, like you said, the representation and the inspiration. That's kind of how I really kind of started with my brand. I wanted to be a hairstylist that showed people and gave support when it comes to like, how can I wear my hair, you know, when I'm going through the journey of starting. And the thing that I did not do, I did not document my gray hair journey from like the first time I stopped. I didn't even take a lot of pictures. So sometimes I feel like, oh my gosh, you know, because I didn't know if this would be like the path that I was on. I'm like, I could have got so many followers and like notoriety if I would have shown that process from 0 to, 24 months. But I was just like, not color my hair. I didn't care. I really didn't take a lot of pictures because I hated it. And I kind of more so emerged after probably it was about 18 months. So one reason why I feel like I myself and people may fear going gray is I really think it's the representation. I feel like it's the support that they have when it comes to the beauty industry as well as hairstylists. And also just understanding that it is a journey like anything else. I really do tell people it's just like a weight loss journey or some type of skincare journey or even some type of going natural. You know, back in the day when everybody was going natural, it takes a long time. But I do feel like if you are committed to it, the other side is so much better, especially when it comes to the energy and the time and the money that is spent on coloring your hair. For me, it's just healthier, overall, as when I get into the hairstylist bag, it's healthier for your hair. It will look better. It will feel better. And I just feel like, I don't know, when you're like, I mean, I guess at any age, you're just bogged down with a lot of things to do. But I feel like as we age, it's just one less thing to worry about. And to me, I feel like with my clients who had stopped coloring their hair before I did, it was one of those things. It's like, you know, I'm in my 40s, I'm getting older, and I just don't feel like doing that anymore. And it's just when you make that decision to embrace your hair, you're making the decision to embracing the journey that comes along with it. And it's going to be some times when it's not the best, or, you know, you might not feel the most beautiful, but for me, I want to create the beauty brand that helps support that, so you don't feel that way. It's just like when we were going natural, right? You know, it's like everybody is saying like, oh, I can't do it. I don't know if I can not get a relaxer. Right. But then after the influencers and the tutorials, and you have more products and different hairstyles, they were able to show you ways to go natural. It really softened the brunt, I think, of embracing it. And also, like you said, I mean, with the industry, everyone is in love with being young. So changing the narrative of feeling old or this will age you, that is an old way of thinking when it comes to gray hair. And I always tell people too, you know, gray to me is like the new platinum. You know, this is white. This is white. You know? Especially it looks so beautiful.
Yeah. Everybody is trying to get platinum.
Exactly.
I feel like the first thing people think of when they talk about stop coloring their hair is they're going to look old.
Yes.
You're going to look old. You know, it's not going to look right on your skin tone. And I say people because I went through the same thing.
Me too. Me too.
What is my lipstick going to look like?
Yes.
You know, how am I going to put my makeup on? All of that. And I have this story recently about a client who moved away from here from Chicago about 2 years ago. And I recommended her a hairstylist in Florida. And I sent her with the bob that I cut. I sent her with the color because she's covering her gray. She's not ready to stop coloring, right? And a year later, she's sending me pictures of her with black hair. And that's one thing that I think women are reluctant to stop coloring their hair is because they feel like they want to stay looking youthful. Yes. But I feel like a lot of times black hair, darker hair will definitely age you before any silver or gray hair will. For Gen X women, gray hair meant time to cover it up. We were living in the era of box color, right? And the beauty ads were always whispering, hide it before they notice. Long gone are those days. Not her choice to go dark, but the hairstylist, there are two different types of hairstylists. One is a colorist. Yes. Another one who does color. Mm-hmm. Everybody that uses bottles of color are not colorists. I'm not a colorist, but I do color. Mm-hmm. Now I knew how to put her color together, make it look amazing. She did like maybe a warm auburn brown color, but now her hair, because the hairstylist does not know how to do her color, now her hair is dark. And she said, well, I thought this is how you want to wear your hair. So I went online and found her a new hairstylist. And one thing that I can actually say that a lot of clients who are sitting in salons, they're tired of sitting in salons. They're tired of sitting there waiting for the color to process.
Especially after COVID too. Listen, so many people learn how to do their own hair. It's like, I'm not trying to do all that.
Yeah, because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of adjustments. And when you leave the salon and a week later, you still can see gray hair because a lot of times, as the hair grows out of the scalp, it's getting more stubborn, it's getting more resistant. The same formula is not covering the gray hair, you know, and so I found that also after COVID with this same client, we went back in with the formula that we were using before COVID. And afterwards, it wasn't coloring her hair as much because she had more of a higher percentage of gray hair than she did. So all of that I feel like is a reason why people fear going gray. One of the things they don't want to look old. You don't want to feel like you look old. You don't want to look like you feel like somebody's grandma, especially if you're a millennial. But what I find is that more millennials and generations after yours are embracing their gray hair before even Gen Xers are.
Yes. I mean, to me, I feel like, you know, working in the beauty industry for over 24 years, you know, I had clients, and I tell people now when I find the new ambassadors that are like in their 60s or 70s, and they think like, oh, like you would use me. And I'm like, there's women who's your age that still color their hair every 3 weeks. Like, absolutely, you know. But for me, I feel like being around the beauty industry and understanding the psychological warfare that we have on being youthful, after I decided to grow my hair out and embrace the gray, it really helped me with my confidence overall, because it's almost like, you know, you're going against society's standard of beauty and also showing that representation that you can still feel confident and not, you know, I could easily have been just, you know, I was a stay-at-home mom. I could have easily just been in my house and, you know, I'm an old maid now. But I wasn't, you know, I didn't feel that way. But in the beginning, it took me, I'm going to say a good 6 months. Like, I was very down and out. I was sad about it. I was down and out. I didn't want, my daughter's very young. She's 4. I didn't want to look like an old mom. But it's just one day after I just started growing it out and I just started really loving how it was looking. My hair was feeling so much better. It was so much healthier. And I just was like, man, I want to find the best products. I want to find the best extensions. You know, I want to wear my hair exactly how I used to wear it, but just gray. And after that happened, it was just over.
Yeah. So ultimately, why do you feel women feel the fear? And then some feel the fear and just feel the fear and keep coloring, whereas others feel the fear and just do it anyway. They just go cold turkey, or either I
think you just have to pick up. It's just like with anything else, you know. Like, I'm just tired of this last 20 pounds. I'm gonna lock in. Right. I'm gonna see it through. You know, it's gonna be hard. It's some days I'm gonna slip up a little bit, but I just feel like, I don't know. I think people who decide to do it is almost like their mind just made up. Like, I can't do it anymore. And it's the same with people who color their hair. It's like, I'm never not doing it. There's nothing. I've had people tell me that, like, there's no way I would not color my hair, and they need to stop. But it's like, I'm not in the business to like get people to do it. You know, it's just like being natural. It's like, if this is something that you want to do, I can help you. You know, there's things that can help you and make it a little bit better. But I don't want to talk anyone into doing something like that, because it's such a commitment. And you do look different. You know, you have to, and people see you as different. You know, people talk to me almost daily about my hair, even when it's not even done. It's like, oh my gosh, how old are you? You know, like, right. It's like they're like confused.
So why do you think stylists, just talking about the industry and beauty standard of going gray, what is your take on, we're both hairstylists and we both earn money, you know, for 3 decades. Yes. So why do you think hairstylists, and then I'll give my opinion, why do you think hairstylists talk women into continuing to cover their gray?
I mean, I think it's a layered thing. You know, I think in the beauty industry, beauty is seen as useful, you know, and that's straight across the board. You know, when it comes to any type of beauty service, people want to look youthful. So they just think gray hair is going to age you. But I also think, like you said, the cost, you know, someone's just coming to get their hair done and they may be natural. They just want to get a flat iron or something like that. They're not going to pay as much money as getting, you know, their hair colored and, you know, coming as often. There's a lot of different things. But for me, with stylists, I just want to make sure they understand that, you know, as we age, our clients age, and we just want to honor that, you know what I mean? And not try to feed into so much of the bottom line, you know, because I feel like if you have a client that needs to go gray and you help them go gray, they will refer more people. You know, it's going to end up even now anyway, they're gonna trust your judgment and feel like, oh wow, she or he really looked out for me and they really saw this in me and they felt like, I could do it.
So y'all, then came the Zennials and Millennials, women who grew up online. They turned gray into an aesthetic, a hashtag, and a whole movement.
So I don't know. I mean, I do think that, the cost wise would be a big deal for someone, when you have 3 or 4 clients that's coming in every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks are getting their hair colored. But after a while, I mean, I don't know. I think the notoriety of how honest and, just really being there for your client, that's what hairstylists are supposed to be. Mm-hmm. I think that goes a longer way, than to just say like, girl, you need to go ahead and color that hair.
Yeah, and it's for me, like when I did go gray, I had a lot more clients who wanted to go gray because they saw the look. I was wearing a pixie.
So awesome.
And then some of them were wearing shorter hair as well. And I could never get them to stop coloring their hair. But once I did it, I felt like a lot of them followed. And now another one of them have moved away to Florida as well. And she was coming back here to still have me cut her hair. But now she's found someone there to cut her hair. And then I also think that when you do go gray, there are things that hairstylists can recommend to keep that hair looking shiny, to keep that hair. So as opposed to you getting color, there are other temporary topical products like Joy Coat, like I use sometimes to make my hair look more like your hair, like more of that slate type of look, that more grayer look, and it's temporary. So it's a lot of things that clients can do in the temporary section, because some of them want to do pink. They want to have fun. They might want to.
I thought about doing a little pastel purple.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where you can have a little bit more fun with and I have 2 videos where I tried the pink, and I also tried the it's more like a silver, but it's more like a slate. So sometimes I like to have fun with those colors.
I love that
also.
I mean, even having that option is great. Just showing, having the opportunity to show stylists, hey, if you have some clients that are going out, when they get to this point, these are some services that can kind of supplement them, going gray supplement them coloring their hair all the time.
Yeah, so how can you not look old with gray hair? Like the modern hair versus not so modern. And the first thing to me is, I always say, you gotta have a look. You gotta create a look. If it's short, if it's medium, if it's long, it just can't not have no style to it.
Yes.
And the major thing is, regardless of what shade it is, you want to have some shine. So whatever that is, adding more moisture to it based on the products that you use. And also having some type of haircut. That's so important. If you're going to go short, if it's going to be a pixie cut, if it's going to be medium, is it going to be a bob cut? And if it's long, is it going to have some kind of texture to it, some type of layers? Or like for you, if you're going to add some extensions to it to give it the look that it needs until it grows out to the certain length that you want. So modern versus non-modern is really just creating a look for yourself, whatever that might be. Starting with your hair. We won't even get into makeup or accessories and all that stuff yet. But what's your take on when you're transforming someone? And it is a transformation from growing out of their hair, even if they do like maybe cold turkey, which means they're going to grow it out slowly and they're going to go that route and just kind of cutting it off as they go along. Or if they were like me, they'd say, I'm just going to cut it off. So how do you transform them to that stage?
So I kind of feel like, some people, if they have been getting their hair done or, they have some sort of style or they have a hairstylist that they've been going to, they know how they like their hair usually. So to me, it's like, if you're a bob girly, like I would honestly just grow it out as long as possible. You might, if your hair is longer, and you might have to do like a little bit more of a big chop, but even getting extensions so it's just quicker, to grow it out. So say you have half and half. I have a client right now, she's half and half, but she has longer hair. And eventually, if she wants to, start chopping off the dark hair, we can put extensions in it just to get her, growing. and keep it in for 6 months. But after that 6 months, your hair will be grown out. So I think for me, it's more so having a plan. So not being too freestyle when it comes to it. And I guess if you're not going to do a big chop like you did, I did a big chop too. So I waited 6 months and I did a big chop. But my thing is, if you're not going to do a big chop, I feel like you have to be open. So open to trying different things, different styles, things that you probably wouldn't normally do. I normally don't do like box braids or crochet or anything like that, but I did a lot of crochet locks for like a whole summer, just to get over the hump, because it is a journey and it takes a long time.
Yeah, especially if you're going cold turkey, right?
Absolutely. And to me, I feel like when you're trying those new styles, it helps you embrace it more, because it's like, oh, I'm going to do this, I want to see how this looks. And then you might like, oh my gosh, I really like how this looks. And this is how I will look after my hair grows out, so it just gives you a lot of different options. And to me, I feel like, I tell people all the time, and I don't want to be that person, but your style and how you wear your hair, it can age you even if your hair was dark, so you don't have to have gray hair. And I always tell people, like, we need to look at gray as a color. It is a color. That's it. It's a color. It doesn't have to age you, because there's people who have dark hair, and how they wear their hair, it ages them. They should probably wear it longer. They should wear it shorter. Some things that will complement, their look, their overall look. And I just feel like, to me, as long as you have a plan, on how you want to grow it out, and you want to be open, if you don't want to do a big chop, to trying different styles, I think it can be fun. I mean, it's a journey. It's going to take at least 18 months to 2 years if your hair is like shoulder length to really grow it out. And I just feel like doing those things helped a little bit more, than you just growing it out and feeling like, oh my gosh, my hair looks so terrible.
Right. And I truly agree with you when you talked about colored hair. Like, colored hair can age you faster than any gray hair.
Absolutely.
Because, and women, if you are coloring your hair, those of you who don't really want to go gray, it's best to choose colors that are not really dark. If working with a colorist, it's best to choose colors that are more in the medium brown family. If you have a plan, like you said, if you have a plan, 6 months from now, okay, I'm going to start coloring. I'm going to start growing out my hair. But it's an easier and it's a more softer transition if you're wearing browner shades, blonde shades, auburn shades, as opposed to wearing dark hair as well. Because
of the demarcation. Exactly. The same thing is like when you had the relaxer with the new growth, when everybody's like, oh my gosh, my hair is so thick. And I used to be like, well, it's thick compared to the straight hair. Like, this is so straight, and then your roots are natural. So of course you're going to think like, there's no way I can see my hair, all of this thickness, all over.
According to research today, nearly 60% of women say they feel more authentic since embracing their natural gray. What about you, sis? How do you really feel?
But it's the same with me. Like, my hair, I was dyeing my hair with Beijing black for years, okay? And I would tell people this too. Even as a hairstylist, I was dyeing my hair black. So I would always wear my hair black because that was my natural hair. But I was doing it, but I was using permanent dye because I wanted it to stick, and I was keeping it on for like an hour because I wanted to make sure it was covered. And I remember looking in the mirror, and this is me as a stylist. I mean, I was doing hair at this time for like 15 years, and I remember looking at my hair like, girl, your hair is fried, because this is still a chemical. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I probably was about 33, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to lay off. And so then for a long time, I tried to wait longer, but then we're busy and we have things to do, events and stuff like that. So, I got back into the ropes of doing it every 2 weeks, or just doing my part, just touching up the part that I was going to have out. It was just too much. And I just feel like, when you think that you're not damaging your hair as much because it's black, I'm not lifting everything, but this is still a chemical, and how often I was doing it really dried my hair out so much. And I remember looking in the mirror and I'm like, why does your hair look like ashy? It was looking ashy. And I'm like, oh, it's because your hair is really white. So your hair is now artificial black. It's not even like how before, when it was natural black, it was so shiny. When I was younger, it was just like so luscious. And I was like, oh, okay, so your hair is really white and you're dyeing it the stark opposite.
Right.
And like you said, having that harshness between white and black. I have a lot of gray hair in the front, so I'm probably about 70% gray in the front. And it's just going back farther and farther as I age. Mm-hmm. And, I couldn't hide it. I had to color my edges, all the time. And it was just so hard for me. But me just coming to that realization, like, girl, even though you're dyeing hair dark, it's still permanent and it's very frequent. So it's still damaging, to your hair. So for me, I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. So what do you, with the transition and, cause I know for me, when clients transition, I don't do braids, but I will open them up to some texture styles like rod sets, twist sets, based on their hair, if it's natural, especially if it's natural, but so that demarcation line is not as profound, as evident when they are wearing styles. So some of them, people that don't like textured styles, they like smoother styles, then they just wear smoother styles. But if you get into like, some clients want to transition to braids, to let their hair grow out, and then, or maybe just going into like rod sets or twist sets. I always recommend those kind of styles.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I tell my clients, like, hey, if you have longer hair and it's textured and you're going to go gray, like and you're not going to do a big chop, it's just going to be hard, so I don't recommend gray blending. A lot of people do, but it really just depends on the integrity of the hair before. Yeah. You're going to do a lot of lightening, and trying to get that going, it could be harsh long term. So some of my clients that have went gray and they have longer hair, I'm just honest with them. And I just tell them like, hey, you can just grow it out for like a year. We'll still do a healthy trim. This is like a 1/2 inch, because they have longer hair. But then when it starts growing down, you need to get this off, because but the same, like you said, like I always feel like, natural styles to me are easier when you're growing your hair out versus wearing it straight because you don't see it as much. But what I did, I thought that, I could be just because I'm a hairstylist too. I thought that was the easiest way. I just chopped off all the dark and, I just grew it out. If I had somewhere to go and I wanted to wear some hair extensions, I would buy them. And that's why I'm creating Slate too, is because it was so hard to find textured gray hair that actually match my gray hair. So that is another part of the beauty brand. Is going to be products and extensions, but I don't want to wear all light hair when the dark is darker gray. I have more black in the back. So it was hard for me to find extensions. Even just finding something that is reasonable price. And so that is really what made me start thinking, is like, if it's hard for me to find something like this as a hairstylist, I can only imagine somebody who just an average person, it's not easy accessible. And that's why I want to create it, because I just feel like people should be able to feel supported and beautiful at every stage. You should, why is it so hard to find gray hair? Like in 2025.
Right. So how important to you, based on when women color their hair, and I know like gray hair, the first thing people think of is the hair is going to be dry, it's going to be hard, it's going to be brittle, but it doesn't have to be that way.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
So to me, since I'm on my retail beauty brand journey, I realized that there's so many modern products and ingredients that helps the longevity of gray hair. So that's what we are focusing on with Slate Strands, and really simplifying the wash day routine. So to me, I feel like before I started Slate, I was using a lot of different high quality products to get the end results. And of course, being a hairstylist, so I had access to like professional grade products, but the average person, you know, is not going to be able to do that, you know? So it's like, if I was not a hairstylist, what products would I use on my hair to keep it, you know, feeling naturally shiny and not frying it if I want to wear it straight in? And it was just so hard to find something that really dedicated, you know, the entire brand to gray hair. So for me, I just feel like, and you don't want to use a whole bunch of products, you know, even some of the influencers that I follow, they do beauty influencers. I mean, they're using like 7-8 different things to like keep their hair shiny. And it's like, oh, this is really for textured hair, you know? And so for me, that is the basis of Slate Strands, you know, is simplifying the shampoo day, having high quality products for people that they can use, you know, on any textures of hair, and also just having that specialty of products that like keep your hair whiter, brighter, not really using a lot of purple shampoo. Now, what do you think about purple shampoo?
Oh yeah, purple shampoos, I don't highly recommend. I recommend certain instances why people need purple shampoos. Sometimes as you're growing out your gray, like if you're going cold turkey, a lot of times you have like, if depending on if they use a rinse on the hair to color the hair and they're growing out, sometimes you can, you know how that rinse just starts fading and fading and fading, and you start seeing all these wonderful colors. You see like gold, and you see, you know, all those different
red.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes if you have green cats as well. So in the beginning, I was using I use a line of products. Oh my goodness, AG Hair. They had an amazing gray hair mask that they discontinued, and I loved it. But I feel like if you're using the right products on a regular basis on your gray hair or silver hair, you don't need purple products. But
so I'm sorry, I feel like purple shampoo, you can use it like you said, but if people have more white like you, it will tinge your white hair. And
I have a girlfriend who has she has like more of a, it's not as silver as mine is in the front,
right,
but she likes the look when she uses, because after her relaxer, she likes to put it in so that it gives her that tint. But me, I don't want to see purple on my hair.
Yeah, I mean,
I really be careful, because a lot of the purple shampoos, they have a lot of tonality to them.
Yes.
What people don't understand, a lot of times they're used on blondes to make the hair less warm, to take away the warmth, and so that it's more of a cooler blonde. But if you're going to use them on gray hair, silver hair, it's going to really grab because I wear a relaxer. So I definitely can't use that after a relaxer, because my hair will be purple. So that's why I say I don't just hate it. I don't hate the purple products, but if your hair starts has like a yellow tinge to it, you know, I do use this product that it's a yellow out conditioner that I like.
I was gonna say it's Claysians, Essations.
Oh, not Essations. Gosh, what is? I'll put the bottle on the screen, but it's not Essations. Because it used to be Bantu.
Okay.
But Bantu, they had a yellow out conditioner, but they don't sell it anymore. And so I found another one. I'll put it on the screen. But
so your products are not going to have any purple, because I felt like for a consumer it's very scary. You know, somebody wants to use it every day, and I'm seeing people like, girl, lay off of that purple shampoo.
Yes, because it's so drying. It's so drying. The one, what is the product that everybody loves? The purple product. The purple. They have a shampoo and a conditioner, and I say, stay away from it. Do not use this product. It is so drying on the hair. It has so many sulfates, and in the hair, and it makes the hair so dry. Because I had a client, she uses that on a regular basis to shampoo her hair.
Yes.
You don't need a purple shampoo on a regular basis to shampoo your hair. If your hair is shiny, it's silver, it's gray, it's like you like it, you need to leave the purple shampoo alone. But you also need to make sure that if you're using products like oils and gels on your hair, that it's white, that it's clear. For Gen X, gray means freedom. For millennials, it means expression. But for both, it's power.
So that's another thing too. Like, I kind of feel like the anatomy of gray hair, a lot of people may put a lot of styling products. So your styling products is everything after you washed it, like styling and finishing. And if you might find something that you like for your texture, right? So we can talk about that too. Like, you might find a product that you like for your texture, like, especially if you wear your hair natural, you kind of have to use a lot of it. But if it has artificial dyes in it, over time, it can make your white hair duller. Yes. And for me, I was thinking of different things that I like to do and use on my hair. I don't really wear my hair natural, but I was telling people, like, I need that protection from the heat because I wear my hair flat ironed. And when I first was going gray, this is again a hairstylist, I was just using that 450 flat iron honey every week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my hair is getting duller. And it's because I was actually frying my hair. So now I only use like 410. I might have to recurl it more often because I used to flat iron my hair one time and I just brush it every day. I'll touch it up. But I might have to do it more often because the flat iron is lower. But that's how I'm keeping my hair white. But I had to learn that over time because I was using the same exact thing that I was before, and it was just not, it was tinging my hair.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then once it's tinged,
I know, you got to trim it off. It's like heat damage.
Yeah. Please tell the people what you have to do. It's almost like,
for me, I mean, like, the top of my hair, I know, the top of my hair is already finer and it was already looser. It's a looser curl. So that's why I really don't do the natural because I'll have to manipulate it. And basically, I was just like, okay, let me see how it grows out. And it was just so bad. I just started chopping it in the front. So now it's probably been about 4 months. It's better. And now, like, the hair is whiter that's growing out. So it's fine. But yeah, if your hair gets burned too much, white hair gets singed too much, it's similar, very much like, I say, like straw. The dry is dry. Put the heat on it and just and it's hard to get back. You have to trim that off.
Let's just talk about the total look.
Okay.
We got to have a total look when it comes to this gray hair. And I feel like women need to have a total look when it comes
to listen, life.
Thank you. Right there, right? I think we get so comfortable as we age, especially, women in my age group, we get comfortable. It's like, yeah, I know a lot of women say, I don't want to wear makeup. But when I say makeup, I'm not talking about the YouTubers, how they put
absolutely
more layers with the concealer and, making the nose thin and the cheeks thin. No,
you're right.
Makeup. I'm just talking about a simple, basic plan that you can do 5 to 10 minutes or less. And focus on whatever you want to focus on. If it's your brows, and brows to me with gray hair is very important because some women, I don't have any gray hair in my brows. But
yeah, me neither. Some people will say that, like, how is your eyebrows still so dark? I'm like, I just have dark features. I don't have any gray hair in my brows or lashes.
Yeah, I don't either. And I do color my brows every now and then because they are thin and just to give them that richness. But I feel like with makeup, with women with gray hair, we need to focus on your cheeks, focus on your brows, your lips, your eyes, whatever. It should be some kind of focus. But to me, it could be a little powder, a little foundation, or even a skin conditioner with color.
Absolutely, like a skin tint. So for me, when I went gray and then I was back outside, so this is like after COVID, like 2022, 23, I was doing my makeup and I'm just like, something is just off, and I couldn't really put my finger on it. And I'm like, oh, I need to change my lip colors with my gray hair, because before I was very, very neutral, which was fine because my hair was so dark. And so I took about 2 or 3 months, I would look on TikTok and just like look at girls that were my complexion and, keep my gray hair in mind, like what would play. And basically it took me about maybe 4 or 5 months to find like 4 or 5 lip colors that just hit every time, like a red, a pink, a nude. And I had to do different things, but before I went gray, I didn't know that, I was just using the same, and I just kept looking in the mirror like it's just not hitting the same. Something's wrong. But after I learned that, so now I am a little overboard when it comes to my lip colors. I usually layer about 3 or 4 different lip colors, which that's something that I want to introduce is a Slate lip layering combo type of thing, because I feel like if you are interested in feeling better and looking better as your gray, you may have to find a new red lip, or you may have to find a new combination, to complement your complexion, how much gray you have, and, your lip color. So that is something that I did, like you said. And I just always tell people, if you're interested in feeling better or, really looking your best, there are, like what I say, beauty practitioners that really enjoy helping people look beautiful, So if you are, embarking on the journey to go gray, I always tell people that you can ask the beauty practitioners, people who are really, really passionate about, helping women find their confidence within however you are, so if you are someone that wants to keep it simple with your hair and makeup, but you want to feel confident as you gray, like I would just say find someone that does makeup that could point you in the right direction and let them know like your everyday style. You may not have enough time, to really do a full face, but you just want to feel confident, and there's so many people that's in the beauty industry that really are passionate about helping people feel better. And they would love to, give some direction if you care, to feel better. Like, I do think, the transition does make you kind of hone in on things that you want to change. And I think that that's fine. You can always find your way as in how you feel most comfortable. You don't look at someone, like I was saying, like myself, that's maybe more glam. It's going to take a little bit more time and effort just because I'm a hairstylist, and say like, oh, well, I don't want to have to take that much time to do my hair and makeup. And it's like, you don't have to do that. You can find your own way and it will work perfectly,
Yes.
Skincare, everything.
And I always say start with your brows and lips.
Oh, absolutely.
I always say a perfect brow is almost like a
facelift.
Surgery. Yes, surgery. Yeah. A facelift without having surgery.
No, for real.
Yes, it is. And then if you put, and I always say, if you just put some Vaseline on your lips, like, or some kind of gloss, that's gonna just change the game. Like if you just start with those 2 things, some perfect brows.
Absolutely.
Perfect, that your version of perfect brows, because everybody's brows, some are thin, some are thicker, and then lip gloss. Like, let's just start there. So I'll put a link to my cousin. He's a dope makeup artist, and he does online consultations, and he's on the channel, but he's amazing in doing online consultations for that particular purpose.
I love that.
So briefly, like, what about like adding like accessories and jewelry and glasses? And I love this glam because it just makes you stand out more. It just gives you almost a sense of purpose, like you are creating this new woman with gray hair. It's like a transformation.
Absolutely. If someone is an eyeglass wearer, you got your cute gray hair with your funky glasses, honey, your cute lip, your earrings. I love it. To me, that is just the epitome of gray hair beauty. You're confident. you're making your own style, and it may have changed a little bit, but sometimes I really don't feel like your style changes as you age. It's like if you're a more conservative girly, you probably would be considered more conservative, and if you're more sexy, you would bring that all the way into your 40s and 50s. So to me, I love it. I mean, I think that it helps, and it also it really just affirms you as a poster child, for gray hair, because you're looking confident, you feel beautiful, and you also, are owning, your new look. So I love it.
So I feel like there's so many more influencers out there now, with gray hair influences, because I think before, I can't even remember, maybe I wasn't looking for them.
Right.
But now there's so many women out there in so many different, Gen X, there's even baby boomers who are out there rocking the game. And so when I think of tools for, us making this transformation, I think of tools that have to do with the mindset. And then I think of tools that have to do with the outer interior. And that is one of the main reason why I created my ebook, which is audio. It's not a physical book yet, but it's audio and visual, just for the transformation, but because it really starts with the mindset.
It does.
And it starts with the mindset, because some of us, because we feel like we're going to look old, then we don't have a lot of confidence in our look. But once you get more confidence, once you work on your mindset, and once you just try to work on, like you said, most people's style don't really change, but it's always room for change. It's always room to add this, or to add that, and just to be inspired. Because I always believe in watching the influencers on TikTok and Instagram, but I never really feel like over my period of my life, they're only used for inspiration. They're only used for motivation and to encourage you to want to look better and want to feel better. So when working with the mindset and talking about the mindset, I wrote the book, and it's called The Gray Hair Glow.
A lot of style and how to what you're looking for in month 4.
Book of transformation. Transformation with starting with the inner, and then working on the outer look, like we just talked about, as far as creating the total look. So I know when you contacted me, I was like, wow, now she works on what the gray hair looks like on the outside. So talk a little bit about what you're creating. We talked about why you're creating it, but what that's going to look like in the marketplace.
So for me, I have such big plans for Slate Strands, but I just love serving an underserved niche. Even when I was doing hair, I built a lot of my clientele in my city with a more higher end Black women corporate clientele. They wanted to look beautiful but still youthful. A lot of them were very high achieving Black women, so they were in their early 30s, and it's I don't want to look so conservative. I still want to have that swag, and I'm in Columbus, Ohio. So Columbus, Ohio is in the Midwest, and it's a little bit more conservative. So I kind of built my clientele with these young, beastie Black women that wanted to look beautiful. They wanted to feel sexy. They wanted to wear weave. We did it in a conservative way. So for me, I kind of felt like Slate Strands is the same way. I didn't see a lot of big retail brands that focus on only gray hair beauty, however you wanted to use it, or however you wanted to wear your hair. And so that was really my focus with extensions and retail products. For me, I think that it's no better time than now, with all the influencers and people that are doing so well, that's really championing, aging well and feeling, confident as they age. Okay, so the reason why I started Slate Strands is because I just felt like it was really hard to find resources that were high quality products and extensions for gray beauty in a wide range. So I want to be able to give all of the color grayscale from someone who's just starting out gray to someone who has white. So for me, it was very hard to find that, and it was very hard to find hair care products that helped my hair, and I just felt like there was a need for it. I think there is a definitely lane for me, and I'm just happy to be able to, show my expertise and give the support that everyone needed and the support that I wanted. So that's really why I created it. I love it. It's been going very well. We're actually waiting to launch. So I don't know, maybe we will be launched by the time this airs, but we're pretty much done with everything. I've been working with a chemist who's in Chicago, Chi-Town. And she's helped me, really create a beautiful entry to retail. And I'm very excited. I want to be a legacy brand, and I really want to just explore how far I can go in the gray hair beauty brand. I would love to be the face of gray hair beauty, and I just feel like I have so much passion in everyone. They really are receiving it well, especially like between the ages of like 48 to 53. They're like really into it. Like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe this. So I'm just happy to be here. It's one of those things that I had no desire. I wanted to be a at-home mom, soft life wife. I was done with entrepreneurship. And it really came to me, and I just started doing my research, and I just felt like it was something that was placed on me to do. And I'm very, very passionate and happy about being able to serve. And just having a platform like yourself, I reach out to people all the time, and, I just leave it there. So if they, come back to me and say, hey, like we want to do a collaboration or some type of story or whatever, like I'm down for however it comes out. So I'm happy.
The conversation around gray hair is like huge right now. It's in the media, it's online, it's in the streets, it's everywhere. And so yeah. So just us having this conversation, I think is awesome, because we can talk all day about women and all of the things that come with gray hair. Let's not start about the perimenopause, the menopause, and just there's so much stuff that goes on with aging, and so many conversations around gray hair. What would you say to the listening audience? Some inspirations and some encouragement on their gray hair journey. Going gray isn't about fitting in. It's about walking in what makes you different. Because women who walk in their truth don't follow trends, they define them.
The best encouragement that I can give is for someone who's thinking about going gray, or maybe have started their journey, is that, everything starts off hard when you're not sure, Mm-hmm. It's like you're just trying this out to see how it works, and sometimes it gets hard and you want to stop. But I feel like my best self, I am more confident now at 42 than I was in my younger years, just because of the knowledge that I have, the experience that I've had, just living life, and also going through this journey. I feel like going gray for me was much more than just growing my hair out. It really just changed how I looked at the beauty industry and the world, and how they, more so women, look at women when they decide to go gray. It's always looked at as old or washed up. And when the men are gray, they're looked at as the zaddies, and
that part.
Zaddy, it's like they're distinguished. So for me, I never thought that I would be able to be on this side of the beauty industry, but I love it, and I just want to be of service to anyone that feels like they want to do it, because it is a change, just like any other changes you will go to, and you need support. Everybody needs support, especially if you feel like you really want to do it, but you just cannot do it. And I just feel like you just feel better. I mean, you feel better. Just less stress on your hair, less stress on your time, less stress on paying for those services. And I just kind of feel like we deserve that. We deserve to do less and be happy with it.
Yes. And I feel like with all the things that women go through, the comments, the reactions, everything. I can say I'm gonna say one funny thing that happened. Then I'll let you share as well. So one funny thing that happened. My son is 18 now. He just went away to college. But when he was around 11, he was in the AAU basketball, and so they were coming out of AAU basketball, but they were leaving there going somewhere. I think they were going skating, and he was trying to figure out where he was going to ride. And so they weren't riding with me because I wasn't going.
Yes.
I was sitting there in my car, I had the window pulled down, and one little guy came up to my window. He was like, I want to ride with Bryce's grandma. I said, no, I'm not Bryce's grandma. I'm Bryce's mom. So there's so many different reactions that we deal with when it comes to embracing our gray hair. And we just have to take them with a grain of salt, make them funny, because people don't know, like, out of the mouths of babes, you might hear anything, but out of the mouths of adults, you might hear anything as well. Like, did you color your hair yet? It's time to color your hair, especially if you're going cold turkey. But what is the funniest thing you might have heard?
Well, I didn't really think it was funny. I think she was trying to be funny. But, it was just a new person that I met, and I was saying like, oh, my daughter is a student here, and I clearly said that my daughter was a student here, and she goes, oh, is it your daughter or granddaughter? Like, very underneath her breath.
Right.
And I think it caught me all off guard so much. Like, I was just like, wait, what? You trying to be funny? So for me, it was just like, oh, you're really trying to be funny. But I didn't take offense to it because it's like, this is so minute, you know what I mean? That I'm not her grandmother.
Right.
I don't look like a grandmother, even though I could be. But that is my daughter, and I said that was my daughter. So for me, it's just like, okay. But that was the only thing since I've been gray that I feel like people are like, wait, what? And it's just funny when people they say that. They're like, oh, I showed my friend your picture. Now she's like, should I go gray? Let me see Chris again. And they're like, you don't need to be looking at Chris because she's coming on here for full glam. Right. She's gonna have you looking out here crazy. And it's like, no, I'm not gonna have you looking crazy, but this is how I present myself, and anytime I'm anywhere, I just make sure that, my hair and makeup is done, and it's my brand. So yes, exactly. I'm okay with it. It's fine.
Yes.
No one has said anything yet to my daughter about being with her grandmother, but I'm sure somebody will.
And what age is your daughter?
She's 4.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I tell people that too. Like, I even like that, I started going gray when she was 1. And she'll look at pictures of us and be like, Mom, you have black hair. Like, she don't even remember that. So I'm hoping that, on my journey, as she sees me, is like, she will see the world, in a different place. And she will see representation of beauty in all ways, and it doesn't have to be a certain cookie cutter look to feel beautiful, because her mom was an early grayer.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. And that's funny how when kids do look at their parents or mothers or grandmothers and they stop coloring their hair, it's just like, wow.
What are you doing?
Yeah, right.
I was my dad was the early grayer. So we had pictures of him when he was 16.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So my mom, after I finally stopped coloring my gray hair, maybe 2 years in, she's like, oh my gosh, your hair, it's just like your dad all over again.
That's awesome.
It's so sharp. But my mom's in her 80s, so she's like, you look sharp, girl. I just be like, right. My daughter got gray hair.
Yeah, you do. It's beautiful. It is so beautiful. This has been amazing. We're gonna have to probably do part 2.
We can do however many.
On behalf of all us graying beautiful women, I want to say thank you for joining us and peace.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And there you have it, sis. 2 generations proving gray is still gorgeous. Peace.